We all have to go from the journey of lust into love. That's what we're doing here as human beings. We're working this out. Lust is ultimately the root of our challenges and our problems and our pains, whether that's in our health, it shows up as disease, it shows up in our relationships, it shows up in our finances, and it cuts us off from our true divine nature. In this video, I'm going to share with you what you can do to take that journey from lust into love. Hi, my name is Nakula and I help men master your S3X energy so you can become a powerhouse both in and outside the bedroom. There's a bunch of free resources in the links below, including the free S3X transmutation guide, as well as a link to my schedule so you can book a call directly with me. This journey from lust to love isn't easy. Lifetime after lifetime, we've spent in lusty behaviors, acting upon our selfish desires. When we take birth in the human form of life, it's like we get confronted with all of this. We get confronted with who we are. And unless we make good choices and we learn to alchemize or transmute that, it causes us to take birth again. It causes us to recycle our pains. Now, maybe you're thinking, is this guy talking about reincarnation here? Yes. Now, even if you don't subscribe to reincarnation, if you think maybe we've just got one shot, that doesn't matter. Even within this lifetime, you are confronted with your own lust. Think about like the devil and the angel and how they chirp in us. And depends which one we listen to and which one we feed and which one we pay attention to, it decides the type of actions or decisions we make in our life. In this video, I want to share with you some distinctions between lust and love so that you can listen to the voice within your heart that's guiding you in the right way, that's leading you, and you can surrender to that voice so that you can have an awesome life. You can be healthy and vibrant. You can have fulfilling relationships, be a great father. You can be a great family man. You can be a great business person, increase your prosperity, because all of that is a product of being able to create a harmonious life. So what are the distinctions? Well, love grows slowly and it's something that's long-term. It's commitment. It's persistent. It goes through the ups and downs, but it transcends the ups and downs or the mistakes or the character flaws, both within ourselves and within others. So love is slow and builds. Lust is attraction at first sight. You see a girl at the gym and you're lusty for her because you see she's attractive. It's quick, meaning that's why a lot of people's relationships can't last beyond the honeymoon phase. Or as soon as that person reveals some flaws within their character, they don't want them anymore because it's like, oh, you're no longer pleasing my senses. You're no longer just pleasing my lust. So in that way, lust becomes exploitative, where that person, you feel like that person is there to please you. And as soon as they do something that doesn't please you, you no longer want to be with them. And we could see so many relationships like that. Largely hookup culture is like that. I'm really into this girl. And then as soon as she has some issues or she no longer wants to please you in the bedroom because she has some family stuff going on, you're like, oh, I don't have time for that. Call me when that's done, type of thing. So that's love. That's lust. Love is a giving spirit. How can I help you? Who do you need me to be? How can I support and hold you up? How can I praise you? How can I give? Lust takes. What are you here to do for me? Are you here to please me? You're here to support me and hold me up. Now, I'm not saying that nobody wants to be supported or held up or praised. We all want those things, but those things actually come naturally in a harmonious way when we give in spirit. Giving in spirit means it's our energy behind something. So love gives and lust takes. Love is patient. It can wait. It doesn't need everything today. It's fine where it's at because love in itself is fulfilling, so it can be very patient. It can wait. Lust is impatient. It's impulsive. I want it now. I'm going to take it now, regardless of whether that's the right thing to do or not. So we can see there's a distinction there. Love respects. It respects boundaries. It respects the desire of other. It respects what somebody else wants. And lust is full of desires that are selfish, it doesn't have respect. It doesn't respect commitments or boundaries. It justifies and it takes over. So when we're loving, we respect other people and we respect our agreements and our commitments. When we're full of lust, we don't respect that. And we can see, you can maybe reflect in your own life and see where that's at. And by the way, this is not unique to one individual person. So every single human being is going through this battle. This is, the spiritual war, David versus Goliath, Arjun on the battlefield in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Like so many traditions around the world has described this battle, this war within ourselves in so many ways. And by the way, the war within ourselves ends up being the external wars that we fight as well. Both as a massive level, we can see nations that are lusty and the leaders are lusty and they're exploiting their people and they're taking from their people instead of providing and protecting them and giving to them. And it happens at the individual level because actually it's happening at an individual level. And so therefore, as individuals, it's our responsibility and it's our journey from going from lust to love. Love is unselfish. It gives freely, and therefore it lives abundantly. It recognizes that we are here to cooperate, to share. Nothing is really mine. There's no mine. Everything is granted to me. I can use things, whether I use the money that's granted to me, but the money's not mine. That's why, for instance, in the Christian tradition, they say, you have to be a steward of good money. You have to show that you're good with your money, that you can give. That's why in all traditions, whether the Jewish tradition or the Christian tradition or the Hindus, whichever, tradition. And again, you don't need to subscribe to a label, but understand the wisdom that's being taught in all of these traditions is that there's always a teaching of giving some percentage of your money away so that you are abundant, that you are a giving spirit, that you're reminding yourself, this is not mine, but this is to be facilitated. It's an energy and it's to be given. And actually, that's how we have great economy. The more that we live in a giving spirit, then the more we buy things and we give and we can give that extra tip and then guess what? What we give returns to us. We reap what we sow. So when something also negative happens to you, or you have to go through some pain and you have to go through some hard lessons, which we all have to do, don't be upset at it and don't play victim. Take responsibility. Well, this is obviously a lesson that I need to learn. And if I don't learn this lesson, I'm going to have to learn it again. And by the way, if you have to learn it again, it's going to be even worse. In all traditions that I've studied so far, in the Bible, in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Quran, it all talks about God being merciful. In fact, in the Quran, Allah is referred to 160 times as merciful, that he is merciful. So he's going to forgive. He's going to love you because he's like a parent. And, in the eyes of a parent, you could do the most horrible things and yet the parent still loves you. I remember watching the documentary of Jeffrey Dahmer, who arguably has done some of the most evil things that we can imagine, and yet you could see his father still loved him. So you can only imagine what God's love for you is like. Never forget that. There's nothing that you can do that God won't love you. But his love, like a father's love, is like discipline. Okay, a mother's love is like, I'm going to let you get away with it for a while. I'm going to let you do whatever you want because I love you. But the father part of him, he's going to cut you down. he's going to humble you. He's going to say, oh, you think you're a big man? Boom. Here. So when the father archetype of love comes into your life, don't be mad at it. Don't be upset, but take responsibility, and actually you can be grateful for it and say thank you, because like a father disciplines the child, later on that child goes on to do great things because of that discipline. Similarly, God will discipline you, and he'll make you feel some pain and hurt and have you process that and work through that, because who you'll become afterwards will be even better than who you are today. Love is honest. Lust is not always loyal, right? It's disloyal because it's selfish in nature. It lives for me. Where love is honest, and honesty breeds loyalty, and lust breeds the opposite. Love is friendship, real friendship, where lust is the image of friendship. It's a good selfie. How many influencers have we seen where they look like they have everything together, and then you find out that they're beating their wife, or there are so many marital problems, or there's so many things going on. So love is real, and it's friendship, and love is just the image of it. I saw this interesting video. I think he was interviewing a fighter, and it was really intelligent, where the guy was saying men tend to speak with, like, when we're growing up, men, you know, we kind of tell each other stuff. Like, I remember my buddies making fun of me growing up because I have a long neck. They're like, your neck is so long, so skinny and long, you know? And you know, it hurt, right? Because it's like, oh, you know, don't look at my neck. It's so skinny, right? And, but I know also they're like teasing me, but in a way that helps us grow stronger, because I remember, like, the way I would deal with that is I would be like, yeah, you know what? And you can call me giraffe. And guess what? I can eat more leaves, higher trees than you. And I remember everybody cracking up, because it was just like, so even though I was being teased because my neck is long, right? And skinny, I was able to grow in character of it. And you know what? I know that I am not the most physically beautiful thing in the world. And so that's something that men do to each other. Like, we kind of tease each other. And that's actually, in a way, it's like nature's way of making us tough and growing and being truthful. Yeah, you know what? Like I've said in many of my videos, I'll never be a 6'2", you know, blonde hair, blue-eyed guy. It's just not me. So I have to learn to accept the body I have and be cool with that, regardless of anybody else's thoughts of my physical body. Women, on the other hand, tend to compliment each other but not mean it. So men make fun of each other but not really mean it, or not really give a crap. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my buddies didn't really care that my neck was long. All right, just like I don't really care, like, you know, what other men look like physically. But women tend to actually do the opposite, right? Like, compliment each other. You're so beautiful, you're so gorgeous, you're so sexy, but then not actually mean it, right? And maybe have envy or jealousy underneath that, where it's like, oh, yes, she's so gorgeous, she's so beautiful, but then when she walks away, it's like, oh, did you see like that dress she's wearing? Oh my gosh, like that is nasty. Or like, oh, she's actually kind of fat, or whatever it is. And so in a way, when a woman first time gets told the truth, like, yeah, actually you're overweight, you should probably do something about that, it's like she can't handle it because she's been lied to all her life. And in a way, men, we starve for like genuine compliment. Like, do you actually think I'm attractive? So this is like, you know, kind of when we're, again, because we're lusty, we're not honest, and we can't handle honesty either. So that goes to the next one, where love is secure. When you're love, you're secure, you're in security. It's like love is like a warm blanket, you know? It's like, I'm good. I'm cool. Like, I don't have to put on a show. I don't have to pretend to be something I'm not. And I'm fully loved. And lust breeds jealousy. I can't be myself. I have to put on a show. I have to, you know, somehow live up to the expectations of everyone else. And it's an exhausting way of living. And love takes work because love will be challenged in this world. That's why love is transcendental. Love is like the sun who shines. There's nothing the earth could do that the sun rays of the sun won't nourish the earth. So love is also scary because you're vulnerable. You can get hurt. When you love, the possibility of someone hurting you, taking advantage of you is there. And that's why so many of us don't want to love, because we don't want to get hurt. The problem is, if we don't want to get hurt, or if we're scared to get hurt, we miss out on life's greatest gift, which is love itself. Lust is a fling. It's not love. It's a one-night stand. It's a hookup culture. It's a fantasy. It's all that. So this journey from lust to love is something every single human being is dealing with. And the more conscious you are of it, and the more you take this journey seriously, the better your life is going to be. The more love you're going to have in your life, the more friendship, the more romance. Yes, it's going to be better S3X. It's just going to be a better life. It's going to protect you from carrying such a consciousness that creates disease in the body. It's going to protect you from making dumb choices and mistakes. And it's also going to get you through those mistakes as well, because it's transcendental. So you will make mistakes. That's such as life. Like, that's what we're doing. And you'll also be given the opportunity to forgive. And forgive is probably one of the biggest opportunities to demonstrate real love. Jesus Christ showed the world that. Many of the great spiritual teachers of the world showed that our capacity to forgive is our capacity to love. Forgiving ourselves, yes, and forgiving others. And that is not always easy, but that's love. And it's worth it. I want you to take what I've said seriously. I'm sure you do. That's why if you're still watching this video, you know that what I'm telling you is the truth. And I want you to take it seriously. And as men, we need to go down this journey and lead by example. And if you're serious, if you want to learn to transform your lust, which is getting you to do so many destructive things in your life to yourself and maybe to others, you know, the prawn and the self depletion. And I'm trying to say all the words so the algorithm doesn't, pick us up. And the drugs and the alcohol and the bad associations, who you're hanging out with, all of that is destructive. And so if you're serious about really experiencing this transcendental love, then the process of alchemy that I teach will get you there. So go ahead and book a time with me. Let's connect. It's a free call. And whether you work with me in a further capacity or not, I promise you that call will bring you value. And that call alone might be all that's needed for you to have a few. Sometimes all you need to hear is one thing to send your life in a completely different direction. And maybe that's all it takes. And maybe it's time for more, and it's time to go to higher level trainings and learn to create health, wealth, and happiness by transmuting your S3X energy. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave comments, help get this message out, hit the notification button. It really helps get the message out there. It helps grow the channel, which helps grow the mission, which is also an act of giving love. Thank you so much.